In this video, we'll go over programming your wired roller shade and common troubleshooting tips.
To adjust the upper limit, run the shade to its current upper limit. Hold the up and down buttons simultaneously until the shade jogs one time. Using the up or down buttons, move the shade to the desired limit. The shade should be moving incrementally. Once the shade is at the desired limit, hold the My button until the shade jogs one time. Repeat this process for the lower limit. To set a favorite or My position, move the shade using the up or down buttons. Stop the shade with the My button in the desired position. Press and hold the My button until the shade jogs one time. You may now access the My position by briefly pressing the My button when the shade is stationary. You can delete this My position by moving to the My position and holding the My button until the shade jogs one time. To copy programming to a new channel on an existing or new transmitter, select the current channel you wish to copy. Hold the program button on the transmitter until the shade jogs one time. Then select the new channel you wish to copy to. Briefly press the transmitter's program button and the shade will jog one time. To delete programming from a channel, select the channel you want to remain programmed. Press and hold the transmitter's program button until the shade jogs one time. Then select the channel you want deleted. Briefly press the program button and the shade will jog one time. To factory reset an AC motor, you will need to perform a double power cut. Start by removing the motor from power for 4 seconds. Then return power to the motor for 8 seconds. Remove from power for another 4 seconds. Then return power again. The shade will jog one time. If the shade did not start the double power cut at an end limit, the motor will run for roughly 3 seconds, then stop. Press and hold the programming button on a transmitter until the motor jogs 2 times. The motor settings and paired transmitters are now erased. If the motor does not jog twice, repeat these steps. Hold the up and down buttons on a transmitter to repair the motor. To factory reset IQM DCR motors, press and hold the program button on the motor head with the paperclip until the shade jogs up and down 3 times. All the motor settings and paired transmitters are now erased. Then hold the up and down buttons on a transmitter to repair to the motor. To delete all paired transmitters without losing shade limits, press and hold the program button on the motor head with a paperclip until the shade jogs 2 times. To factory reset IUQ DCR motors, you will need the Reset tool. Use the Reset tool to press and hold the 3 buttons on the motor head until the shade jogs up and down 3 times. All motor settings and paired transmitters are now erased. Then hold the up and down buttons on a transmitter to repair to the motor. To modify the motor rotation after performing a factory reset, use the up or down button to move the shade away from its end limits. Then press and hold the My button until the shade jogs one time. Using the up or down buttons, verify the motor rotation. You will now need to set your limits. To set limits during a factory reset, use the up or down buttons on the transmitter to position the shade at the desired upper limit. When the desired upper limit position is reached, briefly press the My and down buttons simultaneously to set the upper limit. The shade will begin to move down to the lower limit. Allowing the shade to run down towards its lower limit, use the My button to stop the shade and use the up or down buttons to position the shade to the desired lower limit. Briefly press the up and my button simultaneously on the transmitter to set the lower limit. Allow the shade to run up to the upper limit that was previously set. To confirm both limits, press and hold the my button. The shade will briefly jog up and down one time. To finalize, briefly press the program button on the transmitter. The shade will briefly jog up and down one time.
And that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos for more helpful tips.